Why'd you tell Ron that, dude?
Also, I want to remind Serena, when you're laughing, don't go away from.
Go right
into the mic.
So people know you love it. So there you go.
You got to enter the goon state together.
Oh no, Chris!
I'm telling HR.
Yes,
Serena.
Yes.
Please, Serena.
Because you were the one who said it to Ron, and he didn't feel safe either. He's just disclosing that with us.
We're close.
I actually went to HR, but I found it was HR puff and stuff. And he said he can't do a little and he can't do enough. Whatever happened to that show? I thought it would have been bigger.
That's a shame.
Reboot it.
Bring everything back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People would love a fucking dark HR puff and stuff where shit gets crazy.
I didn't even think to make it dark.
Why do you have to give it like the Sabrina treatment?
But here's the thing. They were on an island with kids.
Oh no!
And
It is
what's
dark.
more in the zeitgeist now than children-filled islands?
That's what he just implied with what he said. You know,
I implied. You actually go too far.
it was right there for us,
Yeah.
Chris.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, Chris.
No, Chrissy, get back to gooning.
Get back to gooning, you dumb
Who said
goon.
I
Do
stopped?
what you do best. Goon it up.
Gooner or later, Chris is gonna get ya.
Gooner or later.
Gooner or later. By the way, the gooning, is that done on purpose? Do you ungoon when you're getting too close?
What happens when you're done gooning? You have to finish.
What happens when you get to the goon town?
Yeah. Welcome to the Goon Town.
Yeah.
See, you enter a state where you're not climaxing, yet you're still turned on.
No,
and
I
it's a
understand, but what happens if you go too far and it looks
Then
like
you
you're
got
doing
it.
this? Yeah,
You
see, that's the thing. You try to stop yourself.
Yes.
If you're only 10 minutes into a goon.
You return from whence you came.
From whence you go.
Oh. Came was good enough.
Yeah.
We only need that
I mean, why
goon.
does he keep having
You know
a
why?
hat?
Yeah, he always wants to, as he say, top the bottom.
Yes. And what you don't understand is I'm a power bottom, Chris. So
Oh,
I'm
now
going
I
to
get
top
it.
from the bottom.
Anyway, here's some throw to things we haven't heard in a while. So these are some things we haven't heard in a while, and we hope you enjoy them. What killed Rock Girl?
Well, guys like freaking Gene Simmons who turned.
All right, you're just throwing it back at him.
Right, well,
I honestly,
We already had that tape.
how many people in life thought Kiss was a good band?
A couple children, I feel.
Children.
Yeah.
Children, and you know what they were that my thing that I didn't have a problem with them? They were like a starter band for children. And not just of the children of the 1970s, also children of the 80s and
100%.
children of the 90s.
Yes.
They just went, oh, I'm a child. I can understand this. This looks like a child show.
I like this idea as like great starter bands.
Yes.
So I think Beatles are a great starter band. It's an excellent
Can I-
children attached to
the
Beatles.
They do. But I'll give you, in real time, it was the Monkees. Little
makes
kids
sense.
were like, and then that was so amazing to me that years later, the cartoon, I think it was Shrek, put in I'm a Believer, and the fucking kids just went crazy for it.
Yeah.
Like kids whose parents and even grandparents like that song. So that, and I'll give you one from the 90s that people made fun of at the time, Backstreet Boys. They were a great starter band
Yeah,
for the young kids.
I agree. I think another great starter band, Green Day, was a
Perfect.
very early band for me, and that was in real time, right? Like they were coming out with
Absolutely.
the albums. But years later, youngsters continue to like not only their current stuff, but their old stuff. And there is something about the pop of
Right.
the pop punk that helps guide you in.
That's why you shouldn't be mad or upset that children like the starter bands. It's exactly where they should be
Yes.
at the time. Chris, I'll ask you. You're kind of a weird kid, kind of struggled with your weight and finding friends.
Yeah, very much so.
What was a starter band for you? A starter only?
I remember liking Led Zeppelin as a kid as a starter band.
I'm going to call that tier 2.
It's going to normally go tier 2 at the beginning of hard rock. I don't think of them as a straight starter band, but I'm going to give you one that both you two were into in real time, and they also gave you the opportunity to have your first rock heartbreak, Sublime.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's my first CD.
And when people sit around and they attack, like I was so stupid then, I listen to Sublime. I go like this. Cherish it.
It was a lot of fun.
Cherish it.
And yeah, they were great. They were great fun albums
Yeah.
to listen to.
Yes.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
He was a good songwriter. They were good little players. And they had the right background. They were friends first.
Yeah.
And, they came up together and they stole stuff and they went to riots and
Yeah, they were
And
fun.
they were part of the whole break-in thing and they took drugs. And up to a point did well with that.
Yes, for a very short period of time.
The right amount of rock time.
Yeah, that's true. 27 Club, I believe.
Yes.
27 Club, although they got started late, so they didn't have a lot of pre-27 material.
They didn't. No.
You know? Where Jim and Morrison and Jimi Hendrix, they had more than enough to
Yeah,
last
plenty.
you. Let's go over here to Lee. Lee is in Orlando, which some people refer to as Magic City because the Magic Kingdom is there. Lee, what do you got?
What up for everybody? But
Hey,
we're
man.
going with O-Town.
Okay. I thought you meant the band
know the
O-Town.
band.
Too. I was like, not
Yeah.
for me, but enjoyable. Okay.
No. How about Cheap Trick?
Cheap Trick is any power pop is a good starter band for children, and a band that you can listen to on a couple different levels.
I like that answer, despite the fact that I haven't seen it a lot. But I would say this: if a parent is like, "Yeah, my kid is listening to music now; he's listening to Beatles," you go, "Of course, yes, of course." But if you tell me your kid is listening to Cheap Trick, I'm going to be instantly impressed. And yet, I think it totally works as a starter band. It's an underused starter band. It
Yeah.
should be
Well,
more often.
Anytime that you have a guy with an angelic voice, kids are going to go to that
Yes.
because they remember Baby Heaven, where all
Yes.
the music sounded beautiful.
Yes, exactly.
All the music sounded nice. Doug looks like he wants to get involved in this, and he's going to give us something weird. Yes.
For a lot of people, it was Blink 182 was a great starter band. That was the band even said we're the Fisher Price for punk for kids. Like they basically called it.
Just
that.
relax. Just you don't have to quote them,
Yeah.
and then we'll discuss it. Yeah, they're a starter band.
Yes, I was real time listening to them, so I would have been like middle school age when I listened to Blink 182. I'd be interested to know
Right.
if young people today are listening to old Blink 182 records, but absolutely, that makes sense to me. It's
Well,
a pop punk band.
The drummer has gone on forever. He's from that band, right?
Yes.
And
With
he
a Kardashian now.
is a bigger star than any living musician. Mm-hmm. He's the biggest living musician star. Dave in Portlandia. Dave.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Hey, man. Good, buddy.
That whole thing about Gene Simmons,
Yeah.
the reason why he's complaining about his fans is because all his fans are dying and they can't spend their money anymore because they're dying. So he's not making sales on Kiss stuff anymore.
I do believe it's a band that appeals to a lot of different ages, i.e., a starter band. Now, George in Chicago. George.
Hey, George.
Yeah, you guys, come on, Sticks, right? I'm sailing away.
Well, we have the song itself if we want to play it, George. And Styx are a Chicago band, but it's very interesting. If I say Styx to you guys, you probably turn your nose up. And I understand it. You know what I mean? You come from a whole different time.
Yeah.
But I was listening to them not too long ago. They're Wiki's favorite all-time band.
Yes, I know.
Favorite all-time band. And I'm like, they're basically doing Queen. It's almost the same band. But for some reason,
It's
because of
interesting.
Freddie Mercury and the cult, the death cult that supports him, people are like, oh, man, Queen, there was so... But listen to Styx, listen to Queen. Listen to Styx, listen to Queen. You're going to find out That just blew your fucking mind.
I never made that connection, but it makes perfect sense.
It does make perfect sense. It's really, really weird. Let's go over here to Garrett and the Ramones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ramones, man. Totally.
The Ramones
Perfect
have,
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me and a lot of kids, we grew up skateboarding, and a lot of 90s skate videos had the Ramones and the Misfits as the background.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's also a good thing that people could hear the Ramones and start a band. They're like, we could start a band now.
You could learn how to play guitar listening to Ramones songs.
Yeah.
You know, you could learn exactly, everything about it. And of course, one of my first punk bands that I started listening to. One of the first ones that I wanted to delve into everything that they were up to. I loved them.
The singer isn't on some level where you go, I don't even know if that could be reached. You're like, this guy, this guy's singing with his amount of joy, his amount of enthusiasm. I can do that right here in my garage, as we used to say where I grew up.
By the motorway?
Mm-hmm, exactly by the motorway near the car park. Okay? We sold toy balloons in town. 844 Rock God is 844-762-5463. Somewhere Rock died, but it lived. God damn it, for so many years. It lived. Jason in Long Island.
Hey, Ron. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
I just want to say, at 12 years old, my dad got me started with the Alice Cooper Band.
Which album? I'm curious. Say it again. Killer. All right, so he started when it was still the Alice Cooper Band.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an interesting thing to me. When you start to hear like punk, and I'm talking the very, very early punk, Sex Pistols. Their fucking instruments sounded so much like early Alice Cooper that I just thought, well, punk rock is just rock and roll. I didn't get the fact that it was supposedly a different genre.
Right. That's true. It still had that just grittiness to it.
Yes. It was kids playing fucking instruments as well as they could.
Yeah,
That's all.
to the best of their limited
Yeah.
ability.
Yes.
Which was enjoyable.
Right. Yes, it's very enjoyable. You don't have to be Chris Stanley in there.
No.
Just-
I don't need to hear you just...
Shredding.
I like, as I see that you're doing finger gymnastics, Chris,
Yes.
but who cares?
I was a kid who enjoyed punk, and sometimes when there are subcategories of kids in high school and stuff, you end up just having to become friends with other subcategory kids.
Right.
And so we would befriend a lot of kids who liked metal, but we were like, we like the opposite music. Like, they put us in the same category. But I don't like to hear people who are that good at playing their instruments. That's not of interest to me.
You know what my subgenre was when I was younger?
What's that?
The Boogie Holly Band. And
Of course.
do I have to share this with you? Perhaps I will. Their drummer was dating a friend of mine's sister, several years older. He came over in our neighborhood. We let them know we were big fans of the Boogie Holly Band. And then he opened up the back of his tricked out van and let us take a look at his shag carpeting and speakers.
I mean, this kid is the coolest.
He was the coolest. He also said he was going away to college soon and would be probably leaving the band.
Oh, that's sad. They
Yeah.
had everything.
Give all that up?
They were personally, I consider them my summer of 69. Because it didn't last long. Let's go over to Matt in Boston.
Hey, Matt.
And if he doesn't say the Mighty Mighty Bosstones,
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, that'll be
good,
fine.
Matt.
Believe it or not, They Might Be Giants, which was my starter band when I was a teenager, is now my kids' starter band because they do all kinds of kids' music.
They do.
Yes.
Even their adult music
Yeah.
sounds like kids' music, and it's very enjoyable.
Your answer has just given me a thought for another one. I think a great starter band would be the Presidents of the United States of America. Poppy, rocky, fun, weird, bizarre, like silly lyrics that a kid would find funny and silly and weird, but still great, easy to sing along to, and rockin'.
Right.
I think the Presidents are a perfect starter band. Think about it, guys. If you have a kid,
Yeah.
think about it.
I don't need to think about it anymore. I don't know whether kids are comfortable thinking about peaches in a can.
I think it's a good one.
Lump.
Mm-hmm. Little dune buggy in the sand.
Yeah, they are like fun little chill things. Victor in South Carolina.
Yes, a transplant. Before I tell you my starter band, I'm hearing a one-sided conversation. I hear you guys great, but the other side of the conversation is lost. So my starter band would be Elton John.
All right. First of all, we'll get to Elton, a very good one. What other side? You're saying you can't hear the callers?
At all.
All right.
You hear the first, and then they fade out. You hear the first two words, and it goes like this.
I have got to get Earl off that board in the other room.
What is going on?
Maybe he's bored.
Yeah.
Earl.
Oh, is it on hold that you can't hear them?
Yes.
Okay, the radio hears it.
Okay.
On hold doesn't hear it.
Oh, the radio definitely hears it.
Okay. All right. So thanks. You said Elton John. Here's what worked with Elton. Because his original first couple albums, they're not very fun starter stuff. But the second that he got silly,
Things got silly.
He started Crocodile Rock and wearing giant fucking glasses.
That's for kids.
You know? Yeah.
That does seem
the
fun
kids
for
are
kids.
like, this is really, really enjoyable.
He's like a clown without the scary
Yeah.
makeup.
I wanted to even do a thing someday that we talk about cartoon fucking bands and cartoon rock stars. And I would even include, I'll do the same thing that they do at the Hall of Fame. I include hip hop in that. There are so many bands that just come across cartoonish.
Yeah.
And it's fucking worked for them.
Yeah. It's like, it's more about the over-the-top performance
Yes.
than it is about that, and that's what makes it.
The whole look. I mean, if you look at Lost Boys, the fucking bad guy in that was just doing Billy Idol. I mean, he literally fucking dressed like Billy Idol, and everyone's like, oh, he's a cartoon vampire. That's for another day, Earl.
Yes, that's different, Earl. Want to fight me, David?
Earl, I just heard from the Hard Rock. The air conditioner's broken.
Whoa,
It's a hot day, Earl.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard to keep people in the standing room.
Also, there's no ice in there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
We need that for beverages.
And the men's room is just filled with floating shit.
Oh, gross, Earl. No one's going to like that.
Yeah, shop vac, Earl.
Hey, Glenn. Glenn, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, Gail, I totally agree. My 5-year-old does like the President.
Yeah,
there you go.
When I was like 5 or 6. I thought the Beach Boys were a band that was just made for kids. I didn't realize until later it was an actual like band for adults too.
One time, we were lucky enough to have Brian Wilson in studio. I was trying to express that to him, and I can't tell you the excitement and nerves for me sitting
Right.
across from Brian Wilson, who I've loved since I was a kid. And I looked him straight in the face and I said, "The Beach Boys touch children." I said that sentence to Brian Wilson as it escaped my lips live on the air. I went, "That's not what I want to say," and I know I've said it, and if I try to backtrack, it'll make it worse. So I'll just leave it, just laying out there in the air. The Beach Boys touch children. You heard it here first. But that's exactly what I meant. It's a starter band. Like, it makes kids love music.
Right. Well, I will tell you this. I believe Mike Love does. I don't know about the rest of the band. There was a guy who used to be in a fucking Boston kind of punk band, kind of hard rock band that came out in here and did kids' music. God, I can't think of it.
Los Lobos, the guy from Los Lobos.
Los Lobos is not from Boston. They're
Never
from
mind.
Los Angeles, California, and they recently won. Yeah. Earl, were you going to say something?
No, I
It
wasn't.
really looked like it, though. I thought the same.
I don't want to say the Dictators, but it's something along those lines.
A guy from the Dictators used to work here, but yeah.
Wait.
Maybe Jonathan Richmond?
No, not Jonathan Richman. He did sound like a children's act, though. Mike in Yonkers. Mike, what's happening?
Hey guys, no doubt. My
That's
little sister seen him at community
good one.
college.
Now, see, you laughed at the term community college. They're trying.
Yeah. I definitely think that could work as a starter band.
Didn't
No doubt.
she just shock the world with her change?
Absolutely. Do you know when, it was very hard for me, especially as a young kid who liked ska and I liked punk and I enjoyed No Doubt.
Right.
Even with their commercial success, I
Sure.
enjoyed No Doubt a lot. And then when she turned away and then later she was like, I'm going to put out a pop record, I felt uncomfortable with it. And yet I followed her. I said, you know what? You're right. You did put out a good pop record.
Right.
And I'm happy for you.
You did. I
And then
remember.
she changed again and is like a country wife. And I went,
Yes.
I'm getting off the ride. I followed you as far as I could, Gwen Stefani. You decided that you're a Harajuku girl who's
Yeah.
going to play to the Japanese audience. And I went, that's a weird choice. Let's go for it. I love you that much, Gwen Stefani. I had to get off the ride.
Now, here's the thing, too, about her. She's not just a country wife. She's also a judge.
Yes, that's true. Is she a spinning chair judge or a straight chair judge? I never know.
I believe, isn't she a spinning chair judge?
She's a spinner.
Yeah.
Well,
And her
that
husband's a
is true.
spinner. Mikey Boy wants Sam. Mikey Boy, what do you got?
Hey, this is one that I've noticed from my own kids when they were growing up. Joan Jett. It's kind of, she's the right amount of rebellious, but still kind of really kind of easy for a young kid to hang on to.
You know something?
Makes sense.
Chris said to me about a month ago, he goes, would you like to have Joan Jett on this show? I go, you fucking kidding me? Yeah. I would love to have Joan Jett on this show. Love her.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard another word back. Well, he says that to me. I get
And then
pumped
he's like,
up.
got him.
I say to your mom, honey, you're not going to believe this.
Oh, God.
I'm going to be talking to Miss Joan Jett.
He called his family.
Yeah. And then your mom said she's very supportive of women's basketball.
It was a good fun
Never
fact.
heard another word.
Yeah. Chris,
Sometimes things come in and then I follow up and I feel like I'm the one being pranked. And then I go to you.
All right, you have an unmasked on the fucking books.
Yes.
With no date that you know is not going to happen. You brought up this person
punked.
who really doesn't have a lot of care about his own career. He doesn't. Why? Over and over is this dangling out there?
I don't want things dangling. I swear to God to you, I don't want anything dangling. Yet things dangle in front of my face because I want to grab it and bring it to you.
Do you want to make this A-okay?
Yes, 100. Yeah.
Bring me Joan Jett.
you know what my opening question would be? Remember when you were my principal for a day? That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
I would say to her, Mikey boy, I want to touch you there, there. Remember that thing, Mikey boy, in the 80s when she was
Yeah.
wearing the little tiny bikini and opening her coat up?
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep,
well,
yep.
I just saw a #1 hit.
It's a starter, all right.
She was a runaway, Gail.
Yes.
She was one of the runaways.
Runaways.
Yeah.
Also could be perhaps in the same category, maybe.
Love them. All right, Mikey boy, always good to talk to you, my friend.
All right,
Bye,
talk to you later.
Mikey.
Peace. He's the best. Mikey boy's the best. Here's Mike. Mike in New Jersey. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi.
we're
How's it
here.
going?
Hey, guys. Hey.
We're here
hey,
for
love
you.
you guys. I was going to say the Chili Peppers, if you guys haven't mentioned it yet.
Well, we didn't mention the Chili Peppers. I now think of them as Elder Dad rock.
Yeah. I don't know if I would put them in that category. I mean, I did like them when I was young. But
Sure.
it was of the time, so it's less weird. And I do remember my my neighbor came over to my house and she had smuggled something in her bag, and she's just like, "Don't tell you cannot tell anyone." I was like, "Okay," and it was the picture of them wearing the socks on their dicks.
Who brought that in?
My friend Devin, who lived down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, "Hey, Chihuahua, Mama likey."
I never thought that girl was good news.
I don't think her family felt the same. Like, I think they felt the same about me.
Oh, no, they didn't like you at all. Yeah. But also, I think she would have done much better in a gender fluid time. I think she...
Great athlete.
Yeah, she was
Excellent
a good little athlete. Yeah, good kid, too. Nice kid. Also a mumbler. She was blah, 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 blah. Toby in D.C. Toby.
Hey guys, the band that you were thinking of, there's a rock band that they're like big in the Kindy music scene. The band was the Del Fuegos, but it's Dan Zane.
That's fucking perfect. You're going to go into the big ass prize closet.
Chris
So,
caused his dad to give a prize.
That's
now-
awesome. Hey,
yeah, you're the
first time,
best,
long
buddy.
time.
Yeah.
The funniest thing about it is I remember back in like, I don't know, mid 80s, they were opening for U2.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to this guy, this older guy who thought he was cool. He was going to the show. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to see U2 tonight, and the Del Fugos are open for him." And my best friend's standing there. It's like, it's serious. You can just stare him straight in the eye. He's like, Del Fuegos. Del Fuegos. You're a fucking idiot.
All right, thanks, Toby. Pretty good prize closet. Make sure you get something good. Let me tell you. So let me tell you this
Rock
about
related.
Dan Zane from this. He has kind of a Steve Martin look about him, and they come in, and they're in our fishbowl, and they bring in all these little kids, right? And I'm walking by, and he's doing a song. These kids are dancing like crazy, and they start throwing themselves against the glass wall. I mean, they were losing it. Like, basically, I would say this. Just picture it's 1973,
Yeah.
and you're at a Boogie Holland band concert. That's the level of excitement that was happening right there. Tom in D.C. Tom.
Hey, I was going to say the Stooges.
That would be odd to get youngsters into the Stooges.
I didn't start listening to the Stooges until I was in high school. And I remember my high school music teacher was like, "What are you listening to?" And I opened my CD player. We had those back then.
Yeah.
Opened my CD player to show him that I was listening to the Stooges. And he was just like, "Wow, you're a lot cooler than I am." And I remember thinking, that's a creepy thing for a teacher to say, right? Like, it felt very flirtatious. And I was like, "You're a fucking weirdo."
Yeah.
Maybe you were.
Look, I don't know what kind of game that you play, but I'm not Chris Stanley watching the TV show A Teacher.
That show's good.
We're watching people fondle their balls.
It was right in front of my face when I zoomed in.
That
It's not in front of your face.
that
You were
show,
peeping.
that show, A Teacher.
Yeah.
Do you know who the person who played the teacher is?
Is it Amy Adams? Amy Adams. No.
Not Amy Adams.
Amy Miller.
I'll give you a hint. Her family owns the Giants.
Oh, Kate Mira.
Also, a person with a small face.
Yes.
He likes a small face.
Like a small face.
Yeah, he does.
And
Ooh
He
la
makes it
la.
okay. He makes it okay, and he just
Yeah.
tries to see if their whole face can fit in there.
Poor old Stanley.
also a teacher, the kid in it that bangs Kate Mira looks like former intern Rustin.
Did you tell him that?
That's
I
uncomfortable.
don't know if I did.
I don't know why. But
I'll
that's
text him now.
uncomfortable to me.
Do you know where that place took place?
Austin.
It was in Austin.
UT.
Might have been, it might have been his little brother. John in South. That's a girlish laugh. That's
really
a girlish
was.
laugh. John, South Dakota.
Titter.
Hey, buddies. Say, I don't know if anybody's brought it up yet, but Bon Jovi. I mean, you want to talk about something that, we're out here in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, and I remember 7th grade, Bon Jovi put out, that greatest hits album, and frickin' everybody had it.
Well,
I
you
mean,
had
I
to.
mean, I remember my mom buying it for me for Christmas. So, my mom was into it, I'm into it. Now I got kids in, junior high, and, they're into it, too. So it's
Also, he's
that's
another guy that does a lot of branding, and he's selling alcohol.
Sure.
And he's got a restaurant, and, Bon Jovi's top of it all. Now, Lou wrote this to us, and it's a good point. Run DMC, great starter rap band.
Oh, I like that.
I'll give you another one. Will Smith. Will Smith was easier for children to go, I like the hippity hop, and then moved their way into people were being massacred.
My starter hip hop, I don't think is a typical starter band.
Yeah.
But my first hip hop record that I bought was the Fugees, The Score.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good. Perhaps not the best starter, maybe for, I think they're more easy things, but I fucking loved it.
Now, Amy's got some great news for you, Gail.
Ooh. Hey,
Amy in Pittsburgh.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
So my kids listen to the Kids Place Live on Sirius XM, and Casper Baby Pants is the guy from the President of the United States of America, and he has a whole kids albums and stuff, and it's crazy.
That's perfect. See,
Perfect
now that
for Juju.
makes sense. Starter band, and he knew it. Obviously, he knew he had starter quality.
My kids really like Ben Folds.
Oh, good singer. Yeah, they like a good singer. Now, here's
he did
the
a
thing.
video with the Fraggles.
Casper Baby Pants, nice funny name for kids, too.
Yeah.
Amy, thank you. Juju and Frankie. New
love
music
it.
coming your way. Siri.
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah. Laura in Alabama.
Hello, my Benningtons.
Hey, Laura, darling.
Hey, guys. I'm kind of late to the conversation, but I feel like this is a hard topic for me because I was born in 79. So I was a kid in the 80s and then a teenager and in college in the 90s. So I could think of a lot
You're
of
Gen X.
bands.
You're Gen X, Laura.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quite as antisocial as Earl.
Right. Earl's very antisocial.
Could be.
Yeah.
I love you, Earl. No, my first one in the 80s, just because of my parent, was Fleetwood Mac. I
That's
know
interesting.
not a lot of people liked them.
No,
I love
yeah.
That's
one of the
I'm,
best.
I'm
that's
also
what
a
I
very
grew
big
up
fan.
listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the 90s, I mean, I was in middle school when the whole grunge thing happened. But for me, it was Weezer, that first album.
Weezer is a
It
great
Weezer, big for Chris.
starter
Yeah.
band. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
Blue Album should be given to children.
Great album cover, great sound, just perfect.
And now Weezer kind of starts to seem like a geezer. You know what I mean? Like it's really working out
I feel
well.
like that.
Yeah.
Geezer.
All right,
I'm there.
Laura. Love you, babe.
All right, love you
Bye
guys.
bye. John in Boston. John.
Hi, John.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
The Jay Giles Band. You got some great musicians. You got Peter Wolf with his rap, Wooba Gooba with the big teeth,
You're talking
saxophones,
about the
Whamma Jamma.
Well, there's no saxophones. That's a harmonica. But I think you're halfway there. I will say this. We're talking about the greatest fucking showman in the history of rock and roll. Okay? The greatest frontman
Sure.
who's ever lived. If I were to build a statue, it would be to that man. And guess what? He's so thin, I don't need to spend a lot of money on this. Dave in Tennessee.
What's up, Ron?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, great. Hey, I've got a couple of years on you, Ron. As a professional musician, I'm sort of a perpetual child.
Right.
So I'm familiar with everything that you're talking about, but it makes me seem like an old man. Wrap your head around this, and I think Gail can appreciate it. As a kid watching Saturday morning cartoons, I got to witness the Beatles, the Jackson 5, and the Monkees on Saturday morning cartoons.
Saw 'em all?
There's your starter bands.
Yeah.
There's your starter bands right
Well,
there.
here was the thing.
As a kid.
Little Michael Jackson, at 10 years old,
Yeah.
was as good as anybody who's ever stepped on a stage.
Do you know why I think they're also such a great starter band? Is they are children, and children like to recognize other children doing a
100%.
great thing.
Yeah.
Like a kid sees a little Michael Jackson.
Right. That
And
was
they're
me.
like-
I go, this is our time. You know what I mean?
Down here.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were in a cave at the time.
Searching for pirate treasure?
We found it. I mean, we didn't have to search much. It was not difficult. That cave was chock filled with treasure. Rick in Boston. Rick.
Hey, how's it going, Benningtons?
Good.
Love the show. Long time listener.
Thank you.
Just love you guys. So I'm like 50 years old, and when I was 14, my uncle turned me on to Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention.
Yeah.
And that just kind of changed my life and changed my point of view about music, and it's very eclectic. Like, I go from classic to heavy metal to
I understand.
whatever.
I think it's too weird for children. I'm just like, I'm freaking out, man. What does this mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's a little weird. I get it.
Yeah.
I understand that, but it's really just kind of, even if you sit back and just kind of listen to the music and the talent that the people have.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's not starter. I mean, it's like jazz meets classical. I mean, it's a very sophisticated sound with silly lyrics. It's hard. It's hard to get through. Yeah, I don't know if it's for starters. I don't know if you could bring a child around, but I remember that when I was younger, we all came out to Montrose it's on the Lake Geneva shoreline to make records in a mobile. We didn't have much time. And Frank Zappa and the Mothers, we were at the best place around when some stupid with a flare gun, he burnt the place to the ground. And there was smoke on the water, on fire in the sky. That was kind of starter metal for a lot of children.
Yeah.
A lot of children went like, oh, and it's also a thing for a kid who's just learning to play an instrument. They would just play Smoke on the Water over and over and over. Some of them murdered by their own parents.
Oh my God. That's redundant is why.
Earl, is all this just making you wonder if you're going to have a nightmare tonight?
And you can hear my nervousness. I'm just feeling, I'm like, okay, prepare, mentally
Prepare what?
Just
You
prepare
have
for
nothing
anything.
to do.
Prepare
You have no obligation.
Wait,
Expect anything.
Have you been in a situation where like you have to get something ready and it's
Yeah.
really stressful and you've got this thing coming up and what is going in your head is just the word prepare. No instructions of what to do, just the word prepare.
What he reminds me of is like when the Buccaneers were playing the Super Bowl, he was like, I don't even know how to get ready for this. I go, well, you just watch.
Yeah.
And that's what Earl's going to be doing, watching. There's nothing for you to do, Earl. Nothing.
If the Mother Leeds band was nervous, I would understand it.
Sure.
Yeah.
They got two
I would
shows
go,
tonight.
man, I want to kill this. I really want to give the people a great show. Earl, you're in the clear.
You know what I would say to them? Lower your expectations. Earl's running this thing. JT in Salt Lake City.
Hey guys, first of all, Chris, I won my first Retro Bowl.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I bet you're better
Thank
than
you.
Chris.
No way, Ron.
Thank you. Hey, I think the greatest starter band, at least it was for me, was the Outfield, because it almost sounded like as a kid you could probably play their music.
It's power pop, and that's the best kind of music to get kids into. And actually, I don't think if you ever liked power pop, you ever stop liking it.
No.
You know, you might be one of those people calling it a guilty pleasure. I don't. I call it pleasures.
Pleasure.
Yeah. I go, this is for my pleasures right now.
I'm getting pleasure from this.
Glenn in Middleton. Glenn.
Hey, hi, Benetons. You can't hear the callers on the
No
on
one
the
cares.
phone. Just
No
let
one
you know.
cares.
All right, I know The Pretenders. The first album, just unbelievable.
Yes, it's a great first album. I don't know if a child would like it. Maybe Brass and Pocket they might.
They
like.
might enjoy that, but I mean, I don't know if Precious is a starter song for young.
Really? That surprises me. Because not me, I'm too precious. Oh, fuck off. It's something I'd love to hear as a child. Silas in Canada.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
The White Stripes for me was definitely my biggest starter band.
Da, 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 every goddamn soccer game, every football game.
Yeah.
And you're like, the other teams are doing it too. Starter bands. Damien, Maryland.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good.
I remember growing up. Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
we
listening.
gotcha.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about like New Edition?
New Edition. That was Earl's band.
Yeah.
Yeah, so New Edition. But I mentioned Depeche Mode. I remember being introduced to that as a teenager with my friend's older sister.
Yeah.
Listening to Depeche Mode and U2 and stuff like that. But
Well, that's a good one. Depeche Mode is a fun one. But let me say this about New Edition. Why don't they ever get like known for being like the first boy band?
Yeah, that's true.
And I think they. Oh, Earl just waved at me like he was.
I said it wrong.
Like he was a cop pulling me over. What is it, Earl?
No, they brought the boy band sound back. They were
From
the
where?
Because it was like Jackson 5.
I want you back.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put even the Jackson 5 and the Osmonds there, because these kids were just dancing, right? The New Editions.
No,
were they playing?
Maurice Starr was there. He was
Yes, I understand who Maurice Starr is. I know he dressed like. But I asked you, did they play their own instruments?
They were not musicians.
That's
in
what
the
I'm talking about. That's why I say that I in the traditional sense. That's why I said I would give them the credit. I think the reason why they don't get the credit is race.
Yeah.
I think that the fat guy down in Florida, the fat ped.
Yeah.
What was his name, Earl?
O-Town.
I think Lou
Pearlman.
Lou Pearlman said, I could do a white New Edition and make a mint and be able to touch them.
Right.
I think that's how cynical he was.
Then the person who was sitting across me. Sorry, what was that last part?
Don't worry about the
Book it.
I kind of just thought you said something at the end there.
The last part is my business. Brian, what's up?
Hey, Benningtons. How's it going?
Good. It's going.
Big one for me, kind of a bit of a cheat, was Billy Joel Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. It's kind of, I was subjected to it as a kid, and it actually paid off in the long run.
Would you like better down there in Jersey? Did you like 1 or 2? Was this on the Jersey Shore?
Yeah, close. Old Bridge, so about a half hour away.
Not far from Ocean City. You ever go down
No,
the
not too far at all.
Okay.
I've been to both.
All right.
I'd say Volume 1 is the banger, just because it's got more of the 70s.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, Brian. All right. Take care.
Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Comedy in full, now available on the SiriusXM app.
Comedy uninterrupted as it was meant to be heard. Full albums in order, start to finish. No interruptions, no skips, just nonstop laughs.
Thoughtfully curated, it's the newest destination for fans who want comedy played as it was recorded.
Just search Comedy in Full on the SiriusXM app.
Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Reggie Watts in studio with us.
Thank you, guys.
And we just had one of those weird kind of rock and roll moments where, as Reggie was coming in, Tom Jones was here, and the two of them got together. And you were talking to Reggie Reggie was bringing up to Tom Jones about Janis Joplin. And there was a certain point where we were all standing there. I'm like, yeah, the acid kicked in. It was like one of those weird things. But that was a very cool experience, and he was digging you in a big way.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible to meet someone like that, because it's just, they're such a part of the consciousness, of life.
And the weird thing for, like in your background is your music as well as your comedy goes everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the hope that it's, if people like it, they carry it, carry it on, pass it on type of a thing.
But even in the kind of influences that you have in the music that you do, and it seems like, and maybe I'm wrong here, but the comedic influences come from all kinds of crazy places as well.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, growing up, I loved weird European kind of cheesy, strange comedy, and to Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, Victor Borga, Charo, Gene Wilder was a huge one, Gilda Radner, Carol Burnett. I really like taking comedy from all, British humor, massive influence.
And even talking with you, I was never sure which was your voice. And the other person that reminded me of was Peter Sellers, where you were not just so much doing voices, but becoming different people throughout the day.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy. It's just weird. So it doesn't matter. Like someone could say a word, and suddenly it triggers, a kind of an interpretation or a character I'd like to become. It's almost like I need to do it in a strange way. And some people think that I'm making fun of them, right? But I'm not. I'm not at all. Like, so if that happens to all of you guys, because we'll be hanging out probably later. But like, if that happens, I'm not making fun of you. You've just inspired an idea. That's all.
I still think that it's an insult. No way you can get it.
Oh, this is a great interview. Really, thank you.
Well,
I love Sirius Radio.
We were actually talking before about trying to make sure that you guys never laughed once, to see if we could get to that point. Because one of the things that's really different about your style of comedy is that a lot of comedians will build upon whatever they start at the beginning. But I noticed with your act that if you're getting a laugh in one way, you'll completely go in another direction with the next bit to kind of make sure that the show doesn't build. You're keeping everybody on their toes.
I guess in a weird way, this sounds kind of cheesy, but yesterday I was thinking about it, that it's kind of like wrestling in a way. It's like you're either like, in wrestling or any form of grappling, whatever, like, if someone's resisting, sometimes you just go with them, and then that changes into something else, and then you create resistance again. It's like when I'm doing my shows, I really like that feeling of like one of my favorite things that I like to do is if I do a performance, like a song of some sort, and people are clapping for that at the end of the song, and then I'm immediately pretending like they're laughing at the punchline of a joke that I just said. So it's really like confusing. So it's just like you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? I love that, and people are like, yeah, so you shouldn't go fishing, and it's just the weirdest. Like they're like, what? No, that's not what we were clapping. But I really like that. I like the destabilized.
It is, and it's the exact opposite of winning the audience over. I'm not as sure exactly what it is, but it's like, please stay involved here. You're not going to, you don't get a chance to start looking around and have a drink when you're watching it. But you'll even go like from a very visual bit, where you're almost not talking at all, into a stream of consciousness. And
yeah, I always like the idea of, when I was a kid, I think this is kind of where it came from, but when I was a kid, I used to, I had this winter coat that had, those little waist tie things that had like little pieces of wood and elastic, and somehow that was supposed to be, you twist them, like in it's like that's the belt, but it didn't really do anything. Well, they would dangle there, and I would stand on the playground and wouldn't move, and then a friend would come up and they would pull the little wooden thing, and then I would change channels. Essentially, I would turn on and I would be doing one thing, and then they pull it again. I'd be like, "That's not very nice." It was like, "How come you're always coming over?" I was. That's what I did. I was hired. No, but that's kind of the same thing. Like when I think of it as like channel surfing or just sudden reality shiftings. I like the idea of you're having a conversation and suddenly you blink your eyes. You're in this room, and then you blink your eyes and suddenly you're in a dining room. Like I like that feeling of sudden transportive ideas that I don't know. That's fascinating to me. If you can get enough energy, it's almost like this is my last analogy, I swear. Sorry, last anal G. No, but it's also it's also similar to like I don't know, to cucumbers. No, no, it's not. I mean, I guess the thing is, what I'm trying to say, and this really matters, is that I look at it as like it's an opportunity. It's like magic, like illusion. It's like, oh, look over here, look over here, and all of a sudden, a dove. You know, like I like that idea of creating an illusion essentially, and the illusion is unstable. So when people think it's stabilized, it's not what it is, and because I enjoy that. It's not necessarily me trying to purposefully be confusing in a way that like gets me off, like, you know, in kind of a negative way. It's I enjoy that, right? And so therefore, I think the audience would like that too, because the entertainment I like to be disoriented when I'm.
Well, the weird thing is, like, if you go back far enough, like with vaudeville, there would be like magic and dance and visual and music and all, and then comedy. But you're doing all this stuff by yourself. It's almost like it's a variety show with one person in it, and no MC whatsoever. So you're not.
That's beautiful. I like that.
He doesn't spend any time going, all right, here's the next bit. You just go to it immediately.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about you as a kid, saying that you would do all these things, and today they would put you on some kind of drug. I mean, it would be like that's the exact thing that they worry about in a kid.
Yeah, you know, that's weird. That's actually a huge point, because they would never think of doing that. You know, they would think of having you maybe see a counselor if it was something that was like, you know, if you were hurting other people, or if you were like so incredibly distracted in the classroom. But I had the ability to focus, but I was always kind of a clown, and I was waiting for the opportunity to tell a joke in the classroom, you know, which is a lot, you know, a little bit different thing. Going, it's like, hey, you try this, blah, 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 and you're like, no, you really don't understand me, do you? Please go down the hall. But I liked being liked by my teachers, and some teachers rubbed me the wrong way, and so I would end up being kind of confrontational, and I would go to, you know, in school suspension a lot for that. But teachers that I really respected, I liked having, you know, meaningful conversations with. And I think that's an important thing. That is weird. I mean, think about like how many kids probably have an ability that is misdiagnosed. So they end up going on these drugs, and it ends up changing their brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe you might survive through that, but maybe not.
But really, what else are you besides your brain chemistry?
Yes.
I mean, that is your personality, and they just go, okay, we're going to change that.
Yeah.
Almost like you're another person. But in the same way of people that are breaking through, and I think what you're doing with comedy and music and stuff is a breakthrough, because we can't even quite explain it yet. That's one of the cool things about it. So in the same way that, let's say, an agent would have told you 10 years ago, no, what you're trying to do doesn't work. You know, you need to follow this path or follow that path, not go off on your own. But maybe there's other kids that we're keeping from doing that by these drugs.
Yeah.
And not even people, not just talking about comedy, but maybe physics. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, like, the thing that we have to remember is that not everybody learns the same way.
Right.
You know, it's like, that's just, I mean, we kind of know that, but we still kind of go, well, here's the template, you know.
Right.
Retain information. If you can retain it and say it back, then you're a smart person. It's like, that's just kind of an OCD person. That's someone who has the ability to kind of keep things and file them properly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a great skill, but some people are very random, and they see they reflect off the world in a chaotic way, and that's an important aspect of of human mind.
You know, if I look back on my education, every question I ever answered probably now could have been taken care of with seconds with just Google and Wikipedia. I mean, why are you memorizing anything when you're carrying your phone around with you?
Well, you know, one of my favorite things, Einstein, I'm paraphrasing, but Einstein basically, like, he was asked a question. He's like, why don't you what did he say? Yeah, he said basically, why don't you like to retain information? You seem to not have the ability to retain information. He's like, why would I hold on to all of those facts and figures? That's what books are for.
Right.
And I like that idea. He basically kept his brain open and clear to create ideas, to think about things. And then if he needed information, he would refer to books, or now we have the internet. And I think that kind of makes sense without obviously being like having no retention at all. But I like the idea of keeping your mind open to formulate ideas and to dream. You know, I like that.
Well, when you're doing that on stage and you're improvising, is there part of you watching the audience? Are you saying, are they coming along with me on this, or do I have to do more? Or do you just kind of leave it up to them whether or not they can follow you?
I think audience perception-wise, I'm kind of putting myself in the audience in a way. And I'm like, is this funny?
Right.
Like while I'm doing things, I'll be like, if I'm having a good time, and it's not like I'm like actively like going into the audience in an imaginary way and sitting there and going, oh, that's pretty good. Maybe, maybe you ought to go over to the left a little bit more and address that side. They seem to, but it's more like a feeling, like a feeling like I feel connected to the audience, knowing that, oh, okay, what's happening is marginally interesting, so keep doing that, and maybe it'll get more than marginal.
Which means there has to be, the one person who's improvising and then the other person who's judging. True. You're almost in two separate places.
Well, that's a great way of looking at it. That's the way I think that everybody does that on some level or another. I think that for me, I describe it as buffer memory. We don't really have that so much anymore because now it's all digital, but back in the day when we had portable CD players and they would skip, they had 40 seconds buffer memory so that it already knew the song 40 seconds. So if it got bumped and the laser went off track, it would just refer to the memory that was already stored until the laser refound the track again, then keep playing. And so I think of improv in that way because I'm on stage and I'm essentially creating a buffer. And if I'm feeling really good, I have a huge buffer. I can actually have time to formulate a feeling that I'd like to come next whilst I'm performing in real time. So essentially, I'm a few milliseconds ahead of what you're receiving on stage. So, but in a way, thought is kind of like that too in a conversation. You're already thinking about, you're like, oh yeah, really? And the next idea is queued up, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Did you ever know, it's that same thing. We all do it. It sounds like, whoa, that's amazing. How do you do, but we all do it.
But I think the real thing about that becomes trust, that you are going to trust as you go out there. The buffer will be working on the next thing, and the buffer saying, well, why I'm doing this, he's going to be able to drag this along too. And what the one voice that could ruin that is the holy fuck, what am I doing? None of this is going to come together. I'll just shit myself voice.
I had that last night. Last night at Whiplash at UCB Theater, it was Jim Gaffigan. It was at Louis C.K. Well, just those two enough. But it was essentially a lineup of heavyweights, and I was watching them going, wow, this is an amazing show. It was a free show, totally packed. No one paid anything. They're just sitting down, and they didn't even necessarily know they were getting this monster lineup. I mean, of incredibly recognizable, people have been around a long time. And so when I got up on stage, I was like a little bit stoned. But I didn't know how stoned I was until I got on stage. And usually I have to set up my gear, which ends up becoming part of the thing. But sometimes I get tired of that. I'm like, why don't I just show up early and set it up and know it works? But anyways, that didn't happen. But so I'm setting it up, and I'm like trying to do a bit with setting up and trying to say things on the microphone, and it was just like sparse emptiness. People just going, what are we doing here? The show's over. We should just go. I don't know why. Is he rehearsing? We should go. He's rehearsing right now. We should definitely go. But then it slowly, I got back on track. It was nice. But those feelings are really scary because I'm reminded that it's a good thing because it's not a foolproof thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're the best audience in the world and I'm feeling really good. Sometimes you get on stage and you're not connecting.
Right.
And it just happens.
And that is, they get back to the thing of that's people's biggest fear of
Yes.
why people don't speak in public. But I don't think they really know how performers share that same exact fear, and it feels just as bad.
Yeah.
And you could be doing this for a long time, shit the bed, and still go home and go, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah. Especially in comedy. Because if you've been doing it a long time and it happens, you're like, maybe I don't have it.
Right.
Maybe I lost it. I don't got it.
Yeah.
Like there's that. So it doesn't matter if you're like just beginning, in the middle, on the rise, or you've been on a long time. You'll always have that fear, and that fear is a kind of a form of energy. Like that's what I rely on. Like the danger of failing is kind of the energy I run off of.
Well, I think the great phrase is maybe I've lost it, because you don't exactly 100% know what it is. Whatever that creative force that brings you stuff that kill, you kind of have a feeling I'll get to this place, but you're still kind of depending on something that is tough to explain or even take credit for.
Yeah, I think that last thing is the point, because I always describe to people, I say, well, it's not, I never claim to 100% own an idea that I'm doing on stage. Like, I think that's, for me, it doesn't feel right. And for me, it's like this, and it's not like, I'll give it up to Jesus and God and all that. Like, people do that. That's fine. That's one of its names. No,
right.
but it's not it, but necessarily. But like, for me, I think of it as like, I'm an antenna to a certain degree. And I kind of, the cleaner I keep my antenna, which is just keeping that mind space clear and open and being playful throughout the day and just kind of like, staying in that. Ideas are just floating out there. And then I notice stuff throughout the day, and I can't stop but see things and go, oh, isn't that cool the way that line goes into this and the shape of it? Oh, that's really cool. Or do you see the way that policeman stepped out of the way when that guy, things like that are happening all through the day. So that's kind of floating around. And then there's the audience, and then there's the club and the lights and all that stuff. And I just kind of start receiving stuff and putting out things that I've noticed before, but then going into things that are kind of random. And what ends up happening is this kind of a feedback loop, or I call it a feedback spiral in a way. It's like you're acquiring information from the audience and from everything else, but I'm shaping it and trying stuff out.
Sure.
Like surfing, not to be, trite, but like surfing is very much like that. It's like, no one claims to like, I'm the best surfer in the world. It's like, no, every surfer knows that they're kind of on the line, and when a big wave hits and they've caught the wave, first of all, they were listening, and they knew they felt when the swell was happening, and then they get out there and they're paddling, and then they catch the wave, and then when they're in that process of negotiating the massive force of nature, they kind of get into this zen spot, and then they pull out of it, or they wreck, but like that's kind of the same thing for me as a performer. I think all performers are essentially that.
And you and I had never met before today, but I've used both those metaphors before. We're trying to explain to people. And I always think the antenna thing, which is amazing to me, is I do kind of think to people, it depends on you what kind of antenna you want to have. Do you want to have one for music or comedy or architecture, whatever it happens to be. That part of it, I've always believed that you can work on.
Yes.
But whatever that creative force is, you're going to be there.
That's it.
And surfing is a great metaphor. Sometimes you paddle out there, there's no wave at all. You could be a fantastic surfer, you could be in Hawaii, and suddenly some kid in Jersey is catching way better waves than you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You got nothing to do with that part of it.
That's right, yeah. It's a lesson.
It is, and by the way, this will be a really great show for stoners because
man, waves are like you know how it's physics, it's waves and particles. You know what I mean? It's like the board is a particle, but the wave is like, I guess, a wave. No, I don't know.
That's perfect. That payoff came in. Then a wave would be a wave.
I guess it would be a wave. Let's just say it's a wave. You want to say that?
Watching some of your comedy too, which some of it reminds me of Carlin, the way he would do wordplay and all. But what I love about some of the pieces I've seen you do, instead of just laughing at words, it's almost communication itself that you're holding the mirror up to, the fact that we go through any of these things that we do and use words. And in your last DVD, where you kind of took down, I'd say, about 40 years of observational comedy with the men's and women's bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Which guys all over the country are doing some variation of that bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like, people, I guess, call it anti-comedy. I've heard it called that before. And sometimes you'll see a comedian as a segue just go, aren't guys weird and blah, blah, blah. But I like to go further with it. I like to really embody it. But like the whole thing is like, aren't men different? And then of course I just choose something that's the most mundane thing that any human being would do anywhere. And then like, how women sit in chairs and think about things. It's like they're crazy. Women are so crazy. I love that because it's like that's been done before.
Right.
It's different. Some comedians are talking about their life experience or something that happened. Like, that's fine. It's honest, and it's funny. If funny's funny. If people are laughing, they're laughing. But like, it sucks when you're like with comedians and you go to like a club and you're like, what is that guy doing? Doesn't he know, or what's she doing? Doesn't she know that like that's a thing? And and I'm not saying that everyone has to like try things on and and mimicry and things of that nature are part of the learning process. But there's also something in comedy, I guess the most important sacred thing is point of view. They talk about point of view a lot, and that's essentially seeing the world in a way that's unique to yourself or honest to yourself. And I think that I never want to discourage somebody, but there's definitely, when someone gets on stage, that they have something, even if it's like hacky, they have a couple micro bits of something that's really brilliant, and that person's going to evolve. You feel it, but and that I love that. Someone could be talking about the most plainest, hackiest kind of stuff, but I know that they're going to be great,
Just because there's one single original thought in there.
Yeah.
I will, that is always, I think, the thrill to see, something that you're thinking, that's never come up before. Particularly in a piece like that you were doing, to go back to the men and women bit, is to make you now see it in a totally different way before you did. Like, and it almost, as I was watching you that bit, I'm going like, who gives a shit that men and women are different? What could be more obvious that men and women have different qualities?
It's like there are people, men are watching it, like, and women are just like, really? Me thought we all humanoids. Like, me no know. Different parts, yes. You have long hair. You look pretty.
This changes everything.
Breaking news. Men are different than women. Even more than structurally. What?
But maybe it gets back to, as many times as you talk about it, people will wake up the following day and forget completely and just go back to where they were before.
That's right. I know. Yeah. My favorite thing about comedy is that I really believe good comedians are philosophers, and that feels fairly obvious statement, but like, George Carlin, especially, when I would watch him, I was like, that's philosophy in action. It's like, humor is one of the best ways to enlighten, in a way, for both sides. It's not like the comedian holds all the power, but it's like they're making these observations in a way that causes people to realize, oh wow, but really realize more than someone just kind of factually displaying information. Did you know that cholesterol can be good in some circumstances? It's cholesterol is like, it's like when people, like, what up with cholesterol coming in? But people respond.
This guy's informative. He really.
What? No way. No, that's funny. That'll stick. Because it brings me humor.
Stick.
Yeah. That'll stick.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think that humor has a way of getting
right
to a joyful place.
Yeah.
I think that joy is that's the best form of intellect.
I've never heard it described that before, but that's really, it really seems dead on. And it actually takes me back to that point where you're saying you're bringing in some kind of energy from the audience as well. And like, it's maybe that crowd you would do a different show for than a crowd of completely different people. Like, I mean, just the fact that so many comics go out and do the same material night after night, they miss that moment that you get to have.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite comedians always riff with the audience. You know, oftentimes, like one of my favorite young comedians that I think will make quite a mark, his name's Rory Scovel. He will riff for, you know, let's say he has a 45-minute set, he'll riff sometimes 20, 25, even 30 minutes before getting to his material.
And then just end with material. Or sometimes just like say a few things in the middle and then riff again until riff out, you know? Like taking the opportunity, even Daniel Kitson, who was one of the guys last night, brilliant British comedian, you know, he has this list of things to do. And oftentimes he says a joke and then someone will cough and then he'll divert from the joke, like, you know, as an aside for about 5 minutes, and then he goes, oh right, here's the rest of the joke. Okay, completes the joke, and then like, you sir, where are you from? And then he does like crowd work, and then that leads for another 20 minutes, and then he goes back, oh yes, and here's this joke. And I love that. I mean, because that way each performance is tailored to that moment. I think that that's a sign of someone who cares about their audience. I think that that's an important thing. It's like there's people out there, and not only cares, but there becomes a trust factor too. Especially when an act moves the way your act does, you have to trust that these people can follow without people, you know, explaining to them as they go along.
Yeah, I mean that's, you know, I never like to spell things out. I try to put an idea out there that's obvious enough to me, even if it seems strange, that people should get it. And it's weird, even if it's a complex idea, as long as you almost are visualizing it in your mind as a clear thing to you, people almost receive that. It's the weirdest thing. Like you'll think of something like I was doing this really dumb joke last night that I tried for the first time, but I was like doing, you know, a play on the word Beyonce, and I was kind of just going like, Beyonce, I don't know, 2 hours, you know, you might feel a little weird. Beyonce, I don't know, 3 days from now, you might, you know, whatever. And I kept doing that. And people were like, why are you doing that? You know? You get it, guys? You get it? You know? But in that case, they overgot it. But that's an example of like something it's a real stretch. But people are, you know, you don't have to explain it, you know, to go like, well, you see what I'm doing, you know, like there's no need for that.
But there also, at a certain point, that almost reminds me of hypnotism when you get to that point where it's almost like a trance state. If everybody's on that ride together, that boom, you can get it to them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like, you know, we all get to a great place. We're like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Now here's a subtle move. Oh, they're there. Okay, let's go really big. Okay, now they're right there too. Okay, great. Now let's pull out some really interesting stuff finally. I don't know.
A lot of the stuff that you do is with the technology that you have. What exactly are you working with right now? What kind of...
I'm running a 360 dual overhead cam.
Okay, nice. We'll race them for pink later.
Yeah. What's your rig? No. Right now, I'm using my Line 6 DL4 that I always use, which is like a delay pedal. It has like echo effects, but it also has a looper mode on it. And then I also use the Electro Harmonix 2880, which is a 4-track looper, which is great because it's 4 tracks, but it's stereo, so I can pan each track either left or right, so I can create a mix. So if I do drums and bass and whatever, I can kind of pan things out to give it a little bit of space and depth. And then I can also have conversations left and right. I like usually do like a character in the right side and a character in the left side having a conversation. So those are the things I run now. And now I'm also using an Electro Harmonix Holy Grail, which is like a little micro delay or a micro reverb pedal, and the reverb enables me to do, I don't know, it's put myself in different environments, which is nice.
All this you learned to do music, you were doing it for more or less serious music.
Yes.
And at some point you decided, I'll move this over.
Move over music, here comes comedy. It's like, okay, I'll still be here. You're my new friend. No. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Just the fact that everything has a personality with it. Everything is alive. Even thoughts have their own personality.
I mean, and that's the thing, because I grew up just kind of being clowny, and I loved comedy and watching TV and movies and imitating things. And really, mimicry was like a big part of my life, and still is. Mimicking sounds, machine sounds, or people's voices, or characters, and things like that, accents. Or physicalities, and learning music. Music was most of my life, and then in high school I got into competitive drama, and did competitive drama, and but improvised because I can't retain lines at all. If you give me a script, I'm like, okay, all right, okay, yeah, okay. Here's the script. Let's film it. Can I see the script one more time? I can't. I get so nervous. So, so I improvised a lot of stuff. And then when I went to Seattle, I kind of did music. I did some sketch comedy, a little bit, really bad sketch comedy. And then towards the end of it, I was like, yeah.
Jesse Jackson just waved to us. It was a very. I was making that up. Now look, Jesse Jackson is doing comedy for us.
Jesse Jackson. That is really weird.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Jesse Jackson just flapped his wings like an eagle. And then flew away in a brown suit.
Now, we're all familiar with Jesse Jackson. We know he doesn't just start clowning and flapping his wings.
No. Yeah, doing the bird.
Yeah.
Oh-wee.
Why the hell did that just happen?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. It's almost like, yeah, that's normal. So anyways, what we were talking about, wait.
What was beautiful is you were being serious at the moment.
Yeah.
And here comes Jesse Jackson. Nothing matters. Look at this. I'm going to fuck with the speaker.
I know, totally. It's sort of like, consciousness is the real... Jesse, come on.
Stop it, Jesse.
Get out of here already.
Yeah. Wow, that was crazy.
That was really weird. Okay, that's good.
That was like Martin Luther King's best friend just came and fucked with us while we were doing an interview.
I know, totally. It was like, you should have done like a little magic, those little glass spheres that people roll around on their hands and make it he's just like, hey guys, check this out. Oh, look at this, a pigeon.
I kind of had the vibe that he was a little jealous, like I'm the guy that gets looked at. Not Reggie, it's me.
It's like, I just want to remind you who's in charge. Okay, I'm out of here. Have fun trying to have a show.
Yeah, right. Follow smoke, you bastards. You brought something with us that you said you could play with a little bit.
Yeah, I can try to.
Yeah. Well, that's always gives me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Because I've got Jackson in the wings if needed. If you can't pull this off.
Woo! Yeah, I think this will work. Let's see. Yeah. Check 5. Yeah, it was working. Okay. All right, let's see what happens.
No, this is just your iPhone that you...
This is my iPhone. I usually... Yeah. I forgot to bring my actual stuff, so this is my virtual stuff. Yeah, no problem. I was like, I won't need it. It's just radio. It's just sound. But it's also visual. Okay, here we go. Check. 1, 2. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, don't sacrifice me to Beelzebub. All right, here we go. Ish, ish, okay.
Scima quelli suonano questo, non prende questo, ma come lo po. Canta papum, vorona da questo, che te non fa pronto,
E la son toto, e la tugnora ne bando shotare, uguaram de sunai, I don't like your pancakes anymore. I don't like your pancakes anymore. I don't like your pancakes anymore. I don't like your pancakes anymore.
Yo, pancakes. Yeah, where my syrups at? Yo, where my flavored syrups? Yo, I hope it's good tonight, cause I hope that there might be something that's scary in the food that enables me to complain about it and get my meal for free. Know what I'm saying? Yo, can you feel me?
Wow, does my phone suck? I can't do anything like that.
I've got the Y phone. No, just kidding.
Got the wrong phone.
Wrong phone.
So that is all improvised for you because you just rather go out and play with it like that every time you go out on stage, or
because I think it's more fun. It's entertaining to me to discover something new. You know, that way I can kind of be a part of the show.
But has there been any point where you're like, wait, that's the one that works, I need to go back and work on that, like you would have done with a song when you were in the band?
There are things that I think, the way I look at it is like, if something keeps coming back, then that's the thing, you know? It's like love, you know what I'm saying? Like you make love with somebody and then you let them go, and it's because it's too greasy and they slip off the cliff. No, it's like sometimes a certain theme will come back, and then if that starts to happen, then I just keep building on it, and then it becomes something. That's what Fuck Shit Stack was about. Like that's what it became something over time, and I just kept holding on to it, and then it just kept building and building. So that's how I look at it. So I kind of like giving it up, because a lot of my shows aren't recorded, and some people will be like, that song was, I love that song so much, and I'm like, well, I don't remember it, and they're like, can you do that song? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I kind of like that, an impermanence to it.
That's why Jerry Garcia started letting people tape many, many years ago. Just say, go ahead, you guys get it down. He actually put it on the audience.
Yeah.
You tape it, because I can't always get there.
That's right.
But the interesting thing is, like, Fuck Shit Stack, with that, so many people got introduced to that from as just like a musical thing. Like, to a lot of people, hey, this is just another song to download. And I brought up, you were here to a younger kid, and he go, oh, track 8. I have him as track 8 on this mixtape, right? So he just thinks to himself, oh yeah, I've already taken what you've done, right, and put it into this whole other vibe that he wants to do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But for him, it's just pure music. It has nothing to do with the rest of your comedy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's putting you in the same place that he would put any other musician. But for you, that song came out, exploded, got really, really big. And a little while later, Conan asked you to join that tour, which there's very few tours, I think, that get that kind of attention. The media attention was intense on that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think of it as that there'll never be a tour like that ever again. I don't think. Like, and there never was a tour like that before. Like, that style of touring, when you have, like, when a comedian, or a comedic performer like Conan decides to put on a tour, that's kind of interesting. People are like, what's that going to be like? What's he going to do? That's interesting. But then ends up playing a lot of music in it.
Yeah.
And then gets an opening act like myself, but then like tours like he's Fleetwood Mac. You know what I mean? Like tour buses and jetting to like he's like he's on the A team, so he jets ahead, and it's like, well, I mean, all we get is this really nice tour bus. No, but like everybody was treated so well,
right?
Like so well, the nicest everything. Like he really treated everybody well, and they toured like a badass rock band would.
And of course, Conan would have probably have never done that tour if everything didn't happen. He would probably rather not done that tour. But the fact that it did come together, all of a sudden these great guest stars coming from every different way. Every show that you would read about, some crazy guest star would show up.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, essentially it's... you can read the names and you can go, wow, that's incredible that, so-and-so is on there and so forth. But it really being around him, it's just his friends. It's like if you had a show and like you just were inviting your friends over, you're like, oh, these are my friends.
Yeah.
So they're on the show because they're my friends and I like them. And that's what he did. And that's the feeling you got, know, like there'd be all these crazy people hanging around and like, wow. But he's just like, hey, what's up?
Do me a favor. Ask him if Tom Jones and Jesse Jackson was there. Because... I fucking roll too, all right, Reggie? Get that through your head. I'll bring on the weirdness.
Yeah, the answer is no. He came nowhere near that. Nowhere near that.
Just Conan, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Jackson flapping his wings, just running through. But I thought it was so interesting, and just to show you where that Conan is a little different, that he asked you to come out. And had you met him before the tour or anything? Or?
Well, I met him, like I grazed by him at Radio City Music Hall maybe 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. I was doing the voice of Sarah Silverman's ass.
I did not know that was you, but I remember that.
That was me. However, the same ass sings as well, but I didn't do the singing part.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Smigel did it, I think. Yeah, he did. He did the singing, so he was like, you sing, or I'll sing, and you do the voice. And I'm like, okay. I was like, that's cool. Yeah, I'm down. That's so strange. But yeah, okay, that's fine. But I was glad I did it, But I got grazed by him then. I was like, wow, he's a very tall guy. And then when the tour came about, it literally was like, hi, did you hear Conan and Brian's going to go on a tour? I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Wonder what that's going to be like. And then like 4 or 5 days later, my manager calls, Olivia. She's like, yeah, so Conan called and they are interested in having you perhaps. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then the next day, they definitely want you on the tour. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, Louis, should I do it? I was working with Louis at the time, Louis C.K. And I was like, Louis, should I do it? And he's like, I don't know, man. I mean, if you have an Australian tour booked, I mean, you should maybe think about doing that because, that's your bread and butter. And I was like, that's true. That's a good point. And then I talked to everybody else. They're just like, are you crazy? Do that tour, man. I'm like, okay, all right. But it was so fast. But it was Todd Levin, who was one of his writers, who. When Conan, they were thinking about who do you want for an opener? And he's like, oh, I'd love someone musical but comedic but different from what I do. And Todd was like, yeah, what about Reggie? And then Andre Duboucher, who's another one of his writers, also recommended me. And then Bart Coleman also was involved in that. Or sorry, JP Buck. And so JP was like, yeah, man, he would be a good guy. And then so that's how I found out about it. So it took me about a week to figure out how it even went down. But it was friends of friends.
And then after all these years of, you kind of doing your solo thing, there you are in these big buses, traveling around with this big crew. Kind of feels like the Almost Famous kid suddenly now is, part of this bigger than him thing.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Almost Famous because when we were on the bus, I downloaded Tiny Dancer. And I was like, guys, we got to do this. We got to do this. And then I just cranked that song. And I was like, no, you guys act like you're sad and stuff and hang around the bus. And Ballerina, you gotta see her, grabbing down the bird. David goes and Danny, and everyone starts singing it together. And I was like, yes. yes, we're going down the road. Anyways, no, but
poof, you are home.
Yeah, I know. It's like, here you are, man. It's all happening. It's like, yeah, it is literally.
So having that experience where suddenly these big giant places and media focus everywhere, when that tour ended, that had to be, again, to come off a tour like that had to be another shot of like culture shock.
Well, it was like, it's weird because, I've done tours before, not on that level, but I used to sing with a band called Soul Live, and for like a year and a half, and they toured on a tour bus. So I was kind of knew what that was. And then, and then we opened for the Rolling Stones a couple times, and that was crazy. But I didn't have the consistency of 2 months of touring.
Right.
And so, what ended up happening is that I got close to the production, the tour production and the road crew, the everybody in Conan's camp, just good people, and we were having such a good time together. And towards the end, Conan, he threw a dinner for us, like kind of like a last dinner type of thing, and and he said this really touching thing, as he is oft to do. And I was like, this guy is amazing. And then when I did Fuck Shit Stack for the very last time, the crew had painted on boxes "fuck, shit, and stack" on different boxes, on a bunch of them, and they hid it from me for the last 3 shows. I didn't see it. So when I was doing that song, all of a sudden the crew started coming out and stacking cardboard boxes that said "fuck" and "shit" and "stack" on them, and dancing around to the song. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. I mean, like, they were the coolest crew. I mean, they set up my gear. They didn't have to set my gear up. They started putting the video feed of me on the side display screens, which they didn't have to do. A lot of stuff happened. It was great. What a great connection, to have with those people. But it was kind of sad, but at the same time I had a feeling I might see them again, like in some way.
Fired from TBS, and
yes.
Whole gang gets back together.
Yeah, it's like, we're taking another tour, guys.
Somehow piss those people off.
Yeah, somehow
you never know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
When you go back to your musical career, like you said, opening for the Stones, which would be, for most people, a gigantic career highlight, no matter where else they went to it. Yeah. But you were close enough a couple of times that you might have never ended up with your comedy career, right? I mean, there were points where it felt like serious musician.
Yeah, it was weird. Essentially what happened is, in the 90s I had this band Mock Tube, and I'd played in millions of other bands, and I lived in Seattle in the 90s, and a big fan of Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. Pearl Jam not so much, and but God bless him, I love him, and Eddie Vedder was really sweet to me backstage, and he's awesome. I do appreciate what they've done, but like just rock, raw rock force, I just think Soundgarden is just one of the filthiest rock bands ever. But anyways, being there, and I played in tons and tons of bands, and then I got in this band Mock Tube, and it was kind of this weird hybrid of strange kinds of music, and trip hop and rock and roll and soul, and no one knew how to classify us. Like, they never knew, because our interests were so varied, and we just kind of didn't really focus on making one kind of music. And we got kind of successful in the Northwest, but then the whole music industry did that crazy collapse thing, and how industry happens like that. And then the offers started dwindling, and I don't know, it was just, I didn't see how I was going to make a career out of it.
If you weren't at a certain point when the whole record industry went down, the Stones can continue to tour, but if you didn't get over at that point, the chances to get through are nil.
Minimal. Minimal. And then I thought about like what I was doing in high school, where I was just kind of like screwing around and having a good time and entertaining people in all the ways that I like to entertain people. And that's when I was like, wow, it may be cool to get back in comedy. And then whenever I'd come out to rehearse or to write music with Soul Live, I'd be in New York for like a month. And I got hooked up with Eugene Merman, and him and Bobby Tisdale had a night called Invite Them Up in the East Village. Amazing comedy nights, kind of a seminal place. I started doing comedy there, and people were like, "Hey, man, welcome to the family," essentially. And I was like, "Oh, this is great. I'm going to move here." And then my best friend was like, "Place just opened up my apartment," and I was like, "I'll take the room." And I took the room, and it just like all fell into place. It was great.
But to go back to your musical career, one of the things that you said was rough was not being able to be figured out and classified.
Yeah.
And your stand-up, you're not being able to be classified either. No one can say, oh, Reggie's just like... I mean, you can start and say, well, you know, take Robin Williams, a little bit of Cheech and Chong, Peter. I don't know where that...
Right.
You know, at the end of it, when you try to tell people what you do, you end up just getting frustrated. And say, check them out. I don't know what to do. You know, I'm pissed off that I got lost here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, essentially the very same things that made it impossible to to do anything in music ended up being exactly, you know, right for what I do now. I mean, it's just great. It's great for me. I was just stoked to I don't have to change what I do. I just get to do what I do, and people like it, and that's a huge, you know, honor in a way.
Well, what about, to take it from here, I mean, I'm sure, because visually you've done really hysterical stuff with your videos, you know, that really, you know, to go back when you're talking, this is just sound, but the sound and vision coming together. TV, movie, anything that you want to do in that area?
I mean, you know, I just did a pilot for Comedy Central, and we'll see. It's called the Reggie Watts Show, and we'll see what happens. You know, they'll test it. You know, maybe they'll air it or whatever. But I would love for that show to happen, because it would just be nice to have a place, you know, to engineer ideas and to put them out into a larger, you know, audience. You know, that's kind of like the internet, but not old school internet. But TV, you know, old school internet. Just couldn't talk back to it. But yeah, you know, I would love that opportunity. I also am I love movies. I love movies, and I have so many dumb ideas for movies and short films and stuff like that. And I just kind of want to get to a place where I have enough income coming in that I can try my ideas without having to please make my idea, you know, or you know, please, pretty, please, you know.
There's other ways to negotiate, Reggie.
Yeah, look, I got a bow on. Don't I look pretty? Don't I?
That's not good. That's not good. Yeah. That's not going to work for you.
Sorry, kid.
Giving up that power.
I know. God, casting couch. But you know, I just want to get to a place where at least people trust me enough,
right?
You know, to allow me to do an idea, because you know, I think that people should be cautious, like networks and so forth should be cautious, because it's kind of shaky and they have to be careful. But at the same time, I just want to get past that caution with them so that they can trust that I'm not doing ideas to the ideas that I come up with aren't to alienate audiences. They have that kind of an effect, but I love my audiences, right. And I love people, and I whatever I'm doing, and I think inside of my head, I think that inside of myself I'm going, God, people are going to love this. That's why I do stuff. I'm like, people are going to love this. Boy, wait till they get a load of this, huh? Who would have thought bologna could be used this way? You know, but it's like, wow, chocolate and bologna.
No, I do believe that about you. You don't set out to have the audience walk out and be upset, which a lot of comics have done. Yeah. Where you're like, this is going to be great. Make sure you watch me. I'm going to empty the room in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And take that as it's an art form, but it's easy to shock and alienate, but to shock and bring people in is the real miracle that takes place. To make them change like that. That's the cool thing.
Yeah, because I think so. I like that. That's what I look for and stuff. That's why I love. I like The State, Michael Showalter and Michael Ian Black and David Wayne. I think those guys are such geniuses at being really kind of and kind of mean in a way, but you just love them. I do. I watched that and I'm like, this, Wet Hot American Summer blew my mind, and it was one of those things it's not for everybody, and it became a cult classic, but it is for everybody, and that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to present interesting ideas to a large group of people, so that maybe it'll bring joy, but also maybe it might start a conversation. Who knows?
Right. Well, you were bringing up about you were doing the music for Louis C.K.'s TV show. That show probably wouldn't have been made 5 10 years ago. I mean, he's breaking a lot of rules with that. And was that your thing that just...
Nah, it's fine. It's just a phone made of glass. It's fine.
Well, why don't you check on it?
No, it's fine.
Would hate for you to lose your act.
No, it's fine. No, it's cool. Yeah, it's fine.
Why don't we pick it back up again just to prove that you can do this more than once.
Look,
just going to show it to everyone. This is a phone.
Yeah, guys. Ain't you never seen a phone before, huh? Ain't it nice? It's all shiny. It's got metal and stuff. And it's made out of compressed sand. Here we go. Okay, let's try this. Hello. Hi, how are you? Okay. Okay, got it. Here we go. I don't know. We don't know.
I don't know.
I said that.
You don't know.
What?
Everybody's coming around for the thing that we want to do, 'cause we're humans and we like to do stuff together. But sometimes humans like to be alone. They like to be alone and stare at a phone and think about if they should call someone to accompany them for the evening. Oh yeah. I like several things besides the world, and I don't like to hold back from experimenting with things I'm very passionate about. So hopefully you'll never have a doubt. Whoa, it ain't now. Ding, ding, belong down. Ding dong. Hello.
Well, Reggie, I want to thank all of you for coming in here today. It was a real pleasure, my friend.
Man, thank you. Thank you so much.
Reggie Watts. Remember the time they was buying the sword and they were trading up?
Yeah.
They said the Mongols killed so many people there was a drop in temperature on the planet Earth. He's the one that's going to be big.
Yeah,
he's next.
Yeah.
Next up. His
Next
movie
up.
coming out this
Next
summer.
up.
Sorry to bother you.
You're always bothering me. Oh, that's the movie. I'm sorry. John in Milwaukee. John, what's up?
What's up, guys? For me, one of the things was when I was growing up, my dad and I would always build furniture, and when you'd get a nice deep sliver and you'd pull that thing out, there's that weird, like, not to the guy's comment of losing heat when you're taking a piss shiver, but that's kind of like an overwhelming sensation when it just comes pulling right on out.
The
weird.
problem is that the pain that happens beforehand, but
I wonder if it's like the poison kind of leaving your body.
Yeah.
You know.
But it is satisfying to like get at something you meant to. Like if you have a piece of glass in your foot and you can finally like dig it out with tweezers, and then you like realize, oh God, that pain is just like immediately gone.
Oh.
I have another good one for you. The sensation of going to a salon and having your hair washed for you. Someone washing your hair.
High.
It's like massaging your scalp. It's one of my most and it's borderline sexual to me.
It is. It is very intimate. But if you just smoke a joint before you do that, and it just feels like you're just wrapping around those fingers, it feels like your skull is made out of mush. And it doesn't feel like that when you're doing your own hair.
No, it doesn't. Like for some reason, when someone washes your hair, you've never been able to get that sensation while doing it yourself. You can never do that.
It's true. It is true. And I mean, the massage has the same thing. Like, you're like, how did I not know my feet hurt so much before I started getting this relaxing rub? I didn't even know my feet hurt.
The first time I ever went for a real massage, immediately I started to think like, oh, like this is why humans like physical touch. Like it feels good to be touched by another human.
It's very weird. And they said like if you have a baby and you could be doing everything correct, but you're not holding the baby, that baby will either die or end up as a real fucking strange, awful person.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a serial killer or something.
Yeah.
Because
like,
it did not get enough human touch.
Yeah. I was reading this thing, or it was like sometimes new parents get this thing where you're like, oh, you don't want to spoil the baby. Don't run to the baby every time the baby cries, is actually entirely incorrect.
Of course.
You can't spoil a newborn. Like they actually need physical touch all the time to feel safe. Otherwise, they're like, their brain is in like crisis mode.
Yes. So why they're not. Then you break them of crying and having you come in, but you have them laying in terror thinking, no, there's nothing to protect me ever. So I might as well stay quiet as I can.
So sad and scary.
I remember the first massage I ever had, and I'm saying to her, well, an extra $100 to do this? I mean, it just seems like you're right next to it. Here's, it says Flanny.
Hey guys, congratulations, Gail and Ron.
Oh, thanks.
Pepper might not understand this, but the feeling when you just finish a run and you've got those endorphins going and your body just relaxes and it's over.
Yes, and that is a wonderful thing because you're like, the cops are nowhere near me now. You know what I mean? I got away with this. I can't believe it.
I could definitely relate, like the feeling of not exercising. That's what you're describing? Yes, I love it.
Oh, I do like the idea of sitting on my couch.
Oh my God.
I do like, well, Vito just went through this with his not sleeping that entire weekend. But when you have something like that and you do make it to your bed and then you're just like,
you feel the muscles relax in your body.
It's not even up to me whether I go to sleep or not. You know what I mean? Like there's something really great about the winter when you just get home and it feels like you're around the hearth or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's warm and you
safe here.
Yeah. Just like you want to eat, but you're tired and you
like
get the nods.
We're really strange creatures, and we're like, we make these little cave homes for ourselves, and then we're just like, safety.
You can't live without it. You cannot survive without your cave hole. Michael, what's up?
All right, so this is going to sound a little strange. I don't know. Gail just mentioned Q-tips, right?
Yes,
she did.
All right, the most incredible feeling in the world. Now, this is a little strange. So Imagine when you wake up in the morning and you have to go to the bath.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do a number one and a number two. It feels really good when you first wake up and do them both. But then imagine cleaning your ears with Q-tip while you're doing them both.
Dude, you are flying too close to the sun. You're crossing the streams right now. You're going to end up having a stroke.
I just imagine now, like a man sitting down on the toilet, pissing, shitting, and then 2 fucking Q-tips in each ear.
While he's eating a sandwich.
Have you ever scratched your dog's belly so much his leg going like crazy?
Oh, yeah.
That's like me, but in the morning.
That's hilarious. He's got it all together, man. He's doing everything. Steve, what's
You mean
up?
Steve?
Yes.
Oh, okay. First, congratulations, Gail and Ron.
Oh.
Thank you.
Nothing is overrated as an orgasm, underrated as a good sneeze.
That's true. A sneeze that you've been waiting for, that's bugging you for like hours, and then it finally happens. It's fucking excellent.
You ever sneeze so hard you think you might have broke your neck? You're like, oh, that's dangerous. You just see white.
I have had spotted vision from a good sneeze before.
Me too. But an orgasm is not overrated. It is just rated. That is rated
well
perfectly. Rated. Hey, Corey. Corey, what's up?